Hi, it's Mary Margaret with Teachstone. I'd like to talk to you about the final part of coding a classroom. So once you've finished looking at your indicators and confirming the correct range selection for each indicator in a particular dimension, you need to go to the grid in page chapter 2. Chapter 2 is where you can find that with every manual, and sometimes it's called figure 2.1 and sometimes it's just in there. But anyway, it usually falls in chapter 2. In the pre-K manual, it is on page 17. Once you get there and you take a look at your score sheet and you look at the distribution of ranges, so perhaps you have 3 mid-range and a high range marked on your positive climate dimension, you're going to look at that grid and you're going to look at the anchors. So we have a 1, a 4, and a 7, reminding you that there is a 7-point scale with the class observation measure, and you're going to decide which do you have the most of. So if we have 3 mids and a high, we're going to start with that 4 because that's the middle and we have the mostly mid-range. You're going to take a look at that and it says all or almost all of the indicators present are in the mid-range, which is not exactly true, right? We have something that's pulling us up into the high range. So then you're going to take a look at the 5, and that says 1 or more are in the high range, with everything else in the mid-range. So that 5 might be something you would like to consider. Then take a look at the 6. Is that going to fit? Probably not. The last step that you want to take is thinking of the holistic definition. So you always begin and end with the definition and the holistic view of the dimension of focus. So let's say that you have something a little more middle of the road. Maybe you have 2 mids and 2 lows for a particular dimension. What do you do with that? Well, you do the same thing. You start where you have the most of. So in this case, you've got 2 mids and 2 lows. So you're going to be looking at the 2 and the 3. And you're going to have to decide, is there enough of the low across those indicators as we look at the dimension as a whole, or enough of the mid to pull it from a 2 to a 3 or a 3 to a 2? Again, always think at the beginning and the end, what's that holistic overview and how do these indicators fit in service of the dimension?